Finest classic cars in the country and hitch a lift in a very, very small BMW. Here's Mad About Motors. This is your ideal day out, isn't it, Jeff?
It certainly is. The Classic Car Show at the NEC. Brilliant.
What actually is a classic car, though?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's anything over 25 years old, but it's strictly nostalgia, really.
So I'm going to see things here today that I remember from my childhood.
Absolutely. Well, how long ago was it?
A few years ago. More than 30,000 people visited the show over 2 days, and surprisingly, one of the big attractions is the Auto Jumble, a kind of car boot sale for classic car parts.
Hey, yeah? Found one. Vacuum check valve. Fantastic, eh? We need one of them.
Rebuilt Rileys for the last almost 28 years. I've been playing with Rileys.
What is a Riley?
Well, originally the Riley company was formed 100 years ago or thereabouts, and this is the first, or the RM series of car, were the first models produced after the Second World War.
This is actually quite a rare car, isn't it?
This is, yeah, it's the RMD, or the Riley Drophead Coupe, as it in fact is that they produced 500 between 1950, late 49, 50 and 1951. It was found derelict in a barn in a totally overgrown and derelict state. It's been a labour of love to, in fact, restore it over an 8-year period.
8 years it took?
Yeah.
How much would this be worth now?
Well, an approximation is between, let's say, £16,000.
£16,000?
Yeah, about that.
But you wouldn't sell it?
It's certainly not, no. No, I mean, it's not quite finished, but it's almost there, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one.
Thanks, Gwyn. And to more mundane matters now, fuse boxes.
It's a cold, wet February night. All you do is want to go home. You get out to your car, no lights. Chances are it's just a fuse. You call out the emergency service, it's going to take you at least an hour. If you invest in a few fuses like that, costing a few pence, all you've got to do is check your driver's handbook, find out where your fuse box is. It'll have a little legend on, tell you which fuse has gone. You're away and running. I tell you what, makes life so much easier.
It looks like a silver bullet, but it's actually a Porsche RS Spider. It's a racing car. It's a bit basic inside, but it's got a beautiful aluminium body. And it's this kind of car that James Dean actually crashed and died in. Now, by way of complete contrast, here's Jeff.
Trust Kerry's to get into something sleek and curvy. Well, what about the old Land Rover? 50 years it's been going. You've got a screwdriver and a spanner. You can take this thing to bits. Been all over the world, a real winner. And if you like Land Rovers, you're going to like this week's competition. But I tell you, it's not for the faint-hearted.
The answer to last week's competition was, of course, a windscreen wiper blade. And the winner was B. Eves of Preston. And they'll be treated to a VIP day out at the Northern Classic Car Show in Manchester. Now, for the brave among you, this week's prize is an exciting day out for two at the Land Rover test track, where you'll get to test drive the vehicles. And all you have to do to win is guess what part of a car this is and send your answer to the address being shown below. I thought they only came in one colour, Jeff, Ferraris. That was red.
Not if you've got enough money, Chuck, they don't. That F40, £500,000 when they were new then.
Rich man's plaything.
Just a bit. But look at this. Tom Selleck, Magnum, had one of these in Hawaii. What was that? Magnum?
Magnum?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Daytona yellow.
Oh.
I know that because you told me.
Yeah. Florida, beautiful thing, eh? One down there.
My favourite, silver one.
Look at the classic lines of that.
I know, it's a
Isn't
beautiful
it stunning?
shape.
Eh? Bit like me, really. Yeah, curves everywhere.
This is the concourse section of the exhibition. It's the competition area. And Jeff thinks we're all a little bit mad.
Well, not so much mad as sad. I mean, it's like your hobby's polishing. You know, they've got to do these cars up to the ultimate. Every nut, bolt. They even use a toothbrush on the tyres.
This is a bit
Screw them
pathetic.
out.
I hope that you're paying as much care and attention to the Jag though, Jeff.
You've got no chance. It'll look beautiful, but it won't be. Oh.
Nitty gritty this week, isn't it?
We're going to get our hands dirty this week because we're into the engine bay and onto the brakes.
Oh dear.
I've got nothing pretty to show you this week, but one thing that is vital if you're getting into classic cars is to get the mechanics right, the engine and lots of other bits. And it does help if you know the best mechanic in Manchester. Andrew, Jaguars, what is the particularly about this model that you really should keep an eye out for if you're going to consider buying one?
Well, if you intend to buy and restore a classic car, the first thing when you go to the car, the first thing you check first of all is to check whether the engine is turning.
Right.
The engine is not seized. If the engine is not firing on all cylinders, and then you have to check whether the cause is external or internal.
So if it's internal, it's a fault. It's obviously going to be very expensive. If it's external, it's not too bad.
No.
Right.
If it's external, it could put right, with very little money to spend.
Right.
But if it's internal, that means you are in for a very, very expensive job.
Now, when you're dealing with classic cars and older cars in general, they all have these strange little quirks. And this is a simple job, changing the disc pads. But it's not the way with this one, is it?
It's a major job. You have to drop the whole cradle down in order to enable to dismantle the whole system, enable you to get at the inboard disc to replace them.
So what you think is a simple job is actual major and very expensive if you can't do it.
Very expensive indeed. It's not as simple as with the other cars.
So if you're buying classic cars, if you don't know and understand, find yourself a pal. Now, you've been a really good girl today, so I'm going to take you home in a nice BMW. How's that?
Oh, you know a woman, don't you?
Oh, I certainly do, eh, Smoothie?
BMW.
Beautiful. Huh? Classic. You get in there.
There's not going to be enough room for both of us.
Oh, of course there will. Get in, turn round, sit down. Come.
I always like to sit on your knee.